Hey, I'm Kelly, and welcome to the whole podcast, KC. Thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoy the show. Hi, everyone. Kelly with the whole podcast, KC. Today we have another episode for you. We're here with Robert Honan with the Farmer's House. Um, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right, Robert, how did the Farmer's House originally get started?
I'd say in the late 2000, uh, 10, around 2010, 2008, two moms with the mission had two kids. They both had kids with the intellectual and developmental disabilities, and they realized that they had no programs or no places for them to go after school. These are folks that live in Platte City. One of the individuals is still in the program, and the other is actually not officially in the program, but he comes to a lot of the different activities. The two individuals who started the Farmers House are still very active in the community, and they're also on the board. Basically, essentially, the story is that there were two kids growing up together, and they didn't know what to do when they got older. So their moms got together and realized they need to make a start for these new kids. What they did originally was started to do some gardening, do some kind of farm like activities, and that's why the name of the organization is the Farmers House. Now we look at our clients are called farmers, and we look at the farm life as kind of a metaphor for the circle of life. Everybody has a purpose, and that's kind of what we're all about. So we really enjoy working with folks up in Platte City, and we're doing a great job. So I really am happy here to be here to explain a little bit more about our organization.
Great, wonderful. Can you share a little more about the mission and goals of the Farmer's House?
The mission itself is empowering people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to live their best lives possible. And we do that mainly through a variety of activities. One of the things we do in a direct service sense is we have a community integration program. This program is really unique. So instead of the traditional day hab program where a lot of individuals just come and hang out for the day, we are out in the community. Our staff are really energetic and enthusiastic staff, take our participants, our farmers, into the community to do a lot of activities. Some of the activities that we do are going to a museum. We go to the park quite a bit. We go to Union Station. We do a lot of volunteering as well because a lot of our participants or all of our people have ISPs, individualized service plans, and they have goals within the ISPs. And in order to meet those goals, we go to the community to work on those goals. So, for example, many of our farmers have volunteering as a goal, so we arranged with harvesters, we arranged with scraps, we arranged with other organizations, Ronald McDonald House, to do volunteering at their organizations so our participants, our farmers, can achieve their goals. So a lot of goals are also centered around socialization, and we do a lot of socialization in the community with the organizations that we visit. So we really are out and about, and that's what I think makes us extremely unique. And I'm really proud to be there.
Perfect. Yeah, networking everywhere is great. All right. What advice would you give to families of individuals with developmental disabilities?
The biggest advice is get connected. Is get connected with other families. It is
Mhm.
alone. It can be a lonely journey if you are not aware of where to go. It's really important to get connected at the farmer's house. If you, even if you don't qualify for services right now, the Missouri Medicaid waiver is frozen. And there are, but even if you're not of age, you have to be 18 to do services at the farmer's house. But get connected. Uh, a lot of times, schools they will have really good resources. If you talk to your school counselor or your school SPED program, special education program, they may make a referral to an organization like the Farmers House. There's also parent groups out there. Google is your friend. The internet's there for a good reason. So Google parent groups of kids or children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. There's also really good resources there. So My main advice is to get connected,
Mhm.
because really once you age out of services, once school is over, the world changes. I mean, when you have services while you're in school, that's one thing, but when you turn
Right.
18 or 21, you age out of a lot of programs, and you really need access to those programs. So it's really important to start the process early.
Mhm.
You can do it when you're later, but it's going to be a lot easier when you're in grade school, high school, or even younger. So get connected, find those resources. If you need some guidance, just give the Farmers House a call. We can help you out.
Perfect. Can you share a story from the farmer's house that really stands out to you?
Yes, we do have an employment services program. I mentioned the community integration program. The employment services program is also a really, really unique and great program that we offer. We have farmers that have gotten really nice employment opportunities through our resources and through the staff that work at the farmers house. So we have I'm not going to name any names at this time, but we have one young lady with Down syndrome. She is amazing. She's really developed her skills through our pre-vocational program and kind of a internship. And then utilizing the internship, she learned a lot of skills at the market. We have actually markets as well at the farmers house, not only the direct services component, but if you're familiar with Weston, if you're familiar with Platte City, we have actual markets of tangible goods to be sold, a lot of kitchen type stuff, a lot of sauces, those kinds of things. Really great. Just a plug in here for the holidays. If you need some holiday gifts, come to the farmer's house. We have anything you need. So we had one young lady got some job skills at one of the markets that we operate and has translated those skills into a competitive job, which she's really excelling at. So I think we do a lot of really, really good stuff in terms of employment services. And I'm really proud that we have people that have never been employed before learn some skills and go out into the working world and make a good life for themselves.
Great. I think that's wonderful, start building those skills up and it leads to a world of opportunities, so that's perfect. What do you think are some of the common misconceptions, with people who have developmental disabilities?
Um, I think a lot of times people pigeonhole them and stereotype people. Everybody's different. Every
Mhm.
single person we work with is completely different. So that's one thing that I think is a stereotype that needs to be shattered. You know, people with disabilities, obviously we're all human, but people with
Mm.
disabilities are as unique as people without disabilities. So I think that's one of the main things. We all have different likes. We all have different personalities. We all have different interests. We socialize differently. We have different disabilities. So, but we're all really the same in terms of humanity. But then again, we're all unique as well.
Right. Everyone's unique, I love that.
Yes, yes, very unique.
How do you think programs like the Farmer's House will bring people together and build social connections in the future?
Um, I'm going to answer that by alluding to another program we have. This is not one of our Medicaid funded programs. As I mentioned, the Community Integration Program and the Employment Services Program are funded through the Medicaid waiver. We have another program called Social Enrichment. This is a really, really cool program where people who may or may not be on the waiver come after we have four different opportunities per every month. So if you go to the farmershouse.org, it's one word, the farmershouse.org, and look at the programs section, we have a social enrichment component. That is a really, really good way for people to come together.
Mhm.
We offer a lot of unique different categories. We've had dating, we've had bingo games, we have a lot of other fun stuff, and also some serious stuff as well. So those are some ways that we connect people through. One of the ways really is through the social enrichment program, and I think it's a really, really good program.
Perfect. All right, we are going to take a quick ad break and we will be right back.
Life can present challenges, but the whole person believes in turning challenges into triumphs. Our staff is trained to provide compassionate, personalized care that enhances the lives of our consumers, enabling them to live independently and with dignity. The whole person believes in the power of human connection. Our staff extends their reach into vibrant communities, fostering connections and creating moments of joy for every consumer we serve. Whether that's through peer support groups, adaptive sports, employment services, or non-emergency medical transportation, Our staff provides exceptional care and become trusted companions and confidants. Your donation will help us continue to expand our programs and services to help people with disabilities remain independent and living in their home. Consider giving a gift today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the whole podcast, KC. Going to continue with Robert Honan with the farmers, excuse me, with the farmer's house. All right. And Robert, how does the farmer's house support individuals with developmental disabilities?
Okay, we do that mainly through several different programs. Some of them are Medicaid funded, some of them are not. But the main programs we have are the Community Integration Program. This is a program where we have individuals come into the farmer's house in our two locations, one in North Kansas City and one in Platte City. And we have daily activities of going into the community where the farmers work on their goals that are provided in their ISP, their individualized support plan. Some of these goals, and we try to go out in the community or volunteering. We do a lot of volunteer activities while in the community, Ronald McDonald House, with those harvesters, with scraps and other places as well. So, and other goals that we work on in the community are socialization, uh, looking to find a job, those kind of things. We also have an ES program, employment services program that works on that as well. So that's one of the things we do, the community integration. And again, ES program, we provide support for individuals looking for work, all the way from career planning through supportive employment when they already have a job. So that's one of the things that we do to help out individuals. In addition to our non-Medicaid waiver funded programs, we've got a social enrichment program, which works to help individuals realize their social goals. We do that 4 times a month. If you go to the Farmers House website, thefarmershouse.org, you could go to the programs tab and go down to the social enrichment tab, which provides the calendar as well as a sign up sheet. So feel free to go there if you'd like more information.
Perfect. Wonderful info for our listeners. So, Robert, what does a typical day look like for participants?
Okay, on the community integration program, which is our main program, main in terms of the number of people as well as the revenue. Typically, people come in, the farmers, our clients are called farmers, come in around 9 o'clock and they stay until 3. The staff comes in at about 8:30 unless they're running a route. We have a transportation program for, I'd say at large, 75 to 80% of our farmer population, where we go and pick them up, or we have a partner agency, Platte County Board of Services, that also provides transportation to individuals, and they drop individuals off at 9. Staff arrives at 8:30, or sometimes if they do the route, like I mentioned, they might start at 7:45. So from 9 to 10 usually is the time for socialization as well as to work on other goals they might have in their ISP. From 10 to maybe 11:30, they're out in the community. As I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of community things from the volunteering that I mentioned, going to museums, going to parks, going to a lot of other fun as well as educational places in the Kansas City area. Then typically we'll go back to either the North Kansas City or Platte City location for lunch. We also have from 12:30 to 2, we go back out in the community as well. And within those confines of those times, we have an art program mainly operated through the North Kansas City location. So we have an art instructor there that works with farmers on art. And in fact, some of the farmers actually sell their art in our markets. So I mentioned we have 3 markets. We've got the Weston, we have one in Platte City, and also the farm, which is actually closed right now because we're only open seasonally. So we have art, community integration, and then the employment services part. That's usually a little different. You're either in the community working, where you get support of employment, or even a transition on to natural supports where you don't really need the farmer's house anymore, or we're working on goals and skills that are needed in order to em to become employed. Sorry about that.
Perfect. How do you support participants who may face unique challenges in learning vocational or social skills?
We really do a lot of one-on-one. I mean, even though our groups
Mhm.
typically on the community integration side are 3 to 4 individuals per staff member. But sometimes if you need some unique support, we do work one-on-one, or at least try to help out in that regard. On the employment services side, most of that really is done one on one,
Mhm.
whether it's supporting someone in the workplace or developing their job skills. So we do a lot of one on one. Also, we do some training with our farmers. Every several months, we have one of our staff members goes over training whatever they might have in their ISP. For example, maybe focusing on romantic relationships, maybe focusing on how to be, act in the community, focusing on, we do some drills, do a lot of fire drills. We do active shooter drills. We do tornado drills. Those are also things that we do not only to keep our place safe, but also to teach and provide skills to our farmers.
Perfect. Are there any specific tools that you feel like have made a big difference in helping participants succeed?
I think I mean, in terms of tools, the way I would define that is just by working with everybody.
Mhm,
As I just mentioned in the last segment, just some of the times we have classroom situations where we do a lot of teaching for classroom. We also do the one-on-one, and just if someone needs assistance on a particular topic or a particular issue, we certainly work with them on a one-on-one basis.
mhm. Great. Yeah, I think, everyone has their own different learning style, so
Absolutely, and I think the blending of the group classes as well as individualized supports really works well for everybody.
mhm, perfect. How has your perspective on community inclusion changed since you started working with the Farmer's House?
Um, I just realized that people are tremendous in terms of their skills and abilities and their potential, and it's really fascinating and very cool to see how people interact with each other,
Mhm,
not only in the facility in Platte City as well as North Kansas City, but out in the community. So, I mean, it's just seeing the growth. I mean, there's a lot of times
mhm,
you see someone who comes to program and they may be really shy or they may not really know what to do, but then once they get into our program, they really grow as a person, and that is
mhm.
super satisfying to me.
Really come out of their shell after that.
Absolutely, and they start directing things themselves.
Mhm, perfect.
We want them to own their lives, and then once they start doing that, they
Mhm.
certainly do.
Sky's the limit.
Absolutely, definitely.
What are your personal goals for the future of the Farmer's House and for the individuals you support?
Well, I mean, mine is still I'm still learning quite a bit about the program. So from a personal perspective, that's something that I'd like to do is learn a lot more about the program.
Mhm,
I've only been there for about 8 months, but I'm getting quite a bit of hang of it.
mhm,
So in terms of that, but also my goal is to see other people grow. I have seen a lot of growth just in the short time that I've been there, and I look forward to seeing the farmers grow further. Also, just my relationship with my staff, I think is really, we have a great staff. I mean, everybody's dedicated. We
mhm.
have very low turnover. We really, really, really work to make sure that we have a hospitable work environment. And I think it's really paid dividends.
Great. How does the farmers market provide hands-on work experience and community interaction for participants?
So we call that our work-based learning or WBL. That's kind of an internship type program that we have for farmers who are in the employment services program. What they do in the markets is learn how to shelf, to stock the shelves, do inventory, count money, also greet guests, explain our mission to guests. These are all skills they need wherever they work. The verbal skills they might need, and also the analytical skills that they may need, just to make sure that a business runs properly. A business is only as good as its employees, and
Right.
we do a really really good job of explaining that to our farmers. We work with them. Everybody has different speeds. Everybody does picks up things in a different manner. We try to work with our farmers to make sure that they are aware of how to improve themselves as employees.
All right, can you tell us about the hired program and how it helps individuals transition to competitive employment?
Sure, HIRED stands for Helping Individuals Realize Employment Dreams. Um, this is a program that is not actually quite off the ground yet. It is the inspiration of one of our matriarchs of the organization, Lucille Tutera. Tutera is a senior home, I guess, conglomerate in the Midwest that has a lot of folks or a lot of homes for people who are are a little bit older.
Yeah.
And what she wants to do is make sure that everybody has access to all those employment tools that they need in order to become really good employees. I think there's a lot of overlap between hired program and the current ES program, Employment Services Program. That's the main goal, is to make sure people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are hired in the appropriate jobs that they need to be at. So that's really the goal of the program, helping individuals retain employment dreams. Really, that's the key. We want to match and work with individuals in the right jobs for them. So this is going to be coming out pretty soon. We're still working some of the fine-tuned details of the program, but we're really excited about it. I think the employment services component of our organization is really excited about it, as well as other folks in the community. So I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Yeah, sounds like a wonderful program. Excuse me. How can local community members get involved with the Farmer's House?
One of the things they could do is shop at our markets. As I mentioned, we have three different markets: one in Weston, one in Platte City, and currently the farm is on Highway 273 is closed for the season. But shop at our markets. All the money that goes into our markets goes back into our programs. That's one thing you could do. We are a nonprofit organization. If you want to make a donation or connect with the endowment program that we have, you just give us a call and we can certainly connect you with that. Also, just to support the employment of people with disabilities in the community, whether they are farmer clients or whether they're other folks with disabilities as well. And if you're a store owner or an employer, hire people with disabilities. I think it's really,
Mhm.
really important that
Right.
you
Very
give people with
important.
disabilities a chance. People with disabilities have a lot of abilities, a lot of skills to offer all businesses. So this goes beyond just the farmer's house. People in the community should be aware that people with disabilities have the skills necessary to really be great employees. And that's one of the main messages I'd like to give out.
Perfect. Well, Robert, thank you so much. I had no idea about all of the programs that the Farmer's House had to offer. Just great array. Thank you so much for joining us today and join us next time.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining our podcast today. I'm going to go over some of our monthly events. Our first event that we have is Getting Social, which is going to be the first Friday of each month. Our next event that we have is Time to Spare, which is going to be the third Wednesday of the month. Our next group will be Mind's Eye View, which will be the first Monday of each month. And our last group that we have is DIY Skills for Young Adults, and that is going to be the last Wednesday of the month. For more information, please visit our website at thewholeperson.org and stay tuned.